Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. And look, Claressa Shields continues to dominate headlines. But, what has become the norm is her dominating the headlines not for boxing. Another public jab from Remy Ma. And every day on the internet, somebody's taking jabs at her. But she created her own misery. Now she got to deal with it. But, this wave will hopefully just go away at some point in time. But fans are questioning whether Papoose is going to step in and help craft a response to defend Claressa publicly. Because I'm telling you right now, if you're a man, you claim to be a protector, then protect a woman. Doesn't matter what we think, what anyone thinks. What matters is what you think and feel about it. Because if I really cared about somebody and I loved somebody, and that was my heart and that was my everything, I would defend them. Find a way to at least redirect the attention back to boxing. As her man, as her protector, as her boxing manager, as her advisor, as her business partner. That's what people are waiting to see. Now, at the same time, boxing fans believe Claressa's biggest challenge is not social media, it's not Remy Ma or the internet drama. It's securing meaningful fights and finishing her career strong, which right now nobody really has the confidence that that's what's going to happen. So it seems that Papoose is under some pressure, that Claressa should respond to Remy Ma, or maybe she should not. How boxing should remain a priority and how social media drama can distract fighters, even if you're the one initiating the drama, it can overwhelm you and find yourself being inundated by it and not knowing what to do, because it becomes this monster you can't control. But really, the importance of securing a major fight next, because right now, nobody can figure out what she's going to do because we're kind of canvassing the light heavyweight to heavyweight landscape, boxing landscape, and we're like, yo, there ain't nothing out there for her. Some say, yo, silence is the smartest move. Others are like, forget all that. Papooses role as a partner and manager, like Hood is saying, he needs to get into action immediately. But I'm just telling you, the public perception can impact a fighter's legacy, and that's what's happening to Claressa Shields. So what you see what's happening right now, I think this is just a wave to push her back to focusing on boxing, because the headlines are going to continue to overshadow her accomplishments in the ring unless she can find a way to redirect the attention back to boxing. Now, the real pressure, Remy Ma did come out here. She seems to be getting a kick out of making Claressa Shields miserable, Papoose miserable, but they have been making her miserable for quite some time, and that's the public opinion, the popular public opinion. But boxing really is the pressure for Claressa. It ain't some rap feud, Midwest Coast versus the East Coast. It's boxing. And that conversation among observers has increasingly shifted towards what we talk about on our lives. What's she doing next? Who's she fighting next? When's the next fight? Twice now you said you're going to announce a fight, and twice now you failed to announce a fight. People are even forgetting how many fights she remained on her contract. 1, 3, 4, 2. People are confused because they don't know what's going on. She has 3 fights remaining. She's supposed to do 3 this year. She did 1. And 1 she's supposed to have after 2027. So she owes them 4 fights. She did 1. She still owes 3. But let me just explain this. I think we're getting an idea of what the final stage of Claressa Shields' career is going to look like. Now, for those who are saying Claressa Shields should do a diss record, she should respond to Remy. That would generate headlines. But if she doesn't get any assistance on that goddamn rhyme or whatever she plans on constructing to respond to Remy, that's going to be all bad. All bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, I can just hear it now. Probably start off with, man, please. But the bottom line is, that's not what she needs. She needs a major boxing event. Something to bring the attention back to boxing and help define, or to try to salvage her legacy. She needs a major boxing event something that we can talk about to alleviate some of that pressure she's receiving. Because right now, Claressa's losing. You got two worlds here, and I'm going to do another video on this. You got two worlds that she's being attacked by. The boxing world and the hip-hop world. And she's not winning. She's not winning. So what's Papoose going to do? He's the one who's talking about how he went out here, and he's the one who was able to, help, get the deals for Claressa. And he talked to all these entities, and he came out here, man, bigging himself up. You know what I'm saying? Well, yo, my man, you should be out here, man, trying to secure opponents, negotiate deals, build opportunities for Claressa, protect her business interests, and then come and big yourself up, man. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear about no rap battle bullshit. And anyway, you're not even helping her with that. So my question is, where's Papoose? Papoose, where is he? What's he doing? I just don't get it, man. And that's why he listens to the ladies, man. That's one thing I know about doing these lives. The women, boy, they see things through a different lens. Me as a man, I see it kind of like, all right, well, why are you not getting involved? But also be like, hey, he probably just don't want the drama. He got his woman over there. Remy's his wife there. They separated, but they got the child. And, as a man, I'm like, I probably wouldn't say anything either. Just try to mitigate things and de-escalate. But then the ladies are like, they understand that, but at the same time, like, he should be responding for her. He should be defending her. Why is he not helping her control the narrative? And he's never really defended her. He came out and on Instagram when Claressa, we had that conversation, and he responded to a video. So he's like, "Yo, you a demon, and you at your age, and how you break down a black sister." And I ain't even respond to him. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm telling y'all, some people like, "Yo, hood," be like, "Yeah, Papoose," because of course I could have responded to him and have been like, yo, don't even play yourself. Come out here acting like you looking out for Claressa Shields, my man. You and I about the same age. You with this young fucking woman. The fuck out of here. Don't even embarrass yourself out here like you some fucking hero and protector. Talking about somebody out here just having a conversation about Claressa. What we saying is content. What I'm saying as a content creator, how about you talking about shooting and killing? So be careful. Know your audience. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to talk about somebody who's just having a conversation about Claressa and the bullshit she's doing. You and I the same age. What you doing with that young woman? So see, now y'all know why Hood Champion be like, Papoose, you know what I'm saying? You should have never said nothing to me. I ain't even respond, but now y'all know. So my thing, Mr. Defender, Mr. Protector, where you at? Because she came on my platform and spoke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got on. I don't know why you out there getting agitated, why you got agitated about that. I just blanked you. I didn't respond to you. Because I was like, I don't want to do them like that because I could have really, again, you worrying about what content creators are saying about it. Clean up your lyrics, man. Talk about something positive. But they want to hear this shit. Tough guy gangster shit. You're too old for that nonsense. But what you're not too old is to come out here and help Claressa out. Because the battle, it's like playing Battleship. You sunk my battleship. The GOAT vessel is going down. Where you at? That's my question. Now, there could be strategic reasons why he's remaining quiet. Again, I'm a guy. And although I don't agree with the way this man's moving and how he want to play like he a protector with this woman who's damn near 20 years younger than him, I ain't feeling that at all. But at the same time, as a man, I could understand, the situation he's in with his ex. And I wouldn't want to throw any fuel on that fire. So I could understand being strategic and just being quiet. But, you know, responding, I think it extends the story. And I think the internet, they want to reward the conflict. You know, the internet wants the drama. The longer two people argue online, the more attention and drama it receives, the more clicks and views. But I ain't really all about that. You know, some managers intentionally avoid engagement because they know controversy can grow exponentially. And maybe that's what it is. But I think the smart business move is just be silent. But at the same time, if you're going to come out here playing protector and claiming you want to come and try to chirp people up, well, then you're going to get chirped up too. Because there are some times where you need to respond. And so far, you haven't responded to anything. What's supposed to be the love of your life and all this and children and this and that. Whatever your plans are, why you ain't protecting them? That's the question that the people want answered. We see Hood Champion understands that many careers have been damaged by responding emotionally to criticism. That's why sometimes you got to set things aside, take a deep breath, and just blow it out. Because trust me, most people have more happiness in their life than these miserable fucks who are out here trying to play like they're protectors and play like they're tough guys and who are just making a bunch of noise. 100%. But I'm telling you, that when you respond, it creates a new headline. But I think right now there need to be new headlines. There need to be new reaction videos, new commentary, new social media debates, back on boxing. But that's not what's happening here because the silence can be good, but so much damage has been done. And I personally feel Papoose, I think he's the one who led the charge in destroying Claressa's brand. Yes, she has something to do with it, but I think he has everything to do with it. So he's sitting on the sidelines, hoping that all these stories fade. And in most circumstances, they would. But Claressa's situation is way different. So from a business perspective, y'all was so vocal and so ridiculous with disrespecting the whole world. Especially, you know, when I say the world, I'm talking about every let me just say the hip hop world and the boxing world. Disrespected everyone. So now when you want to be silent, thinking that's the most effective response, normally it would be. It's not. Because everyone's expecting for y'all to continue making noise and they're talking more than ever now. Now, if a fight announcement's coming soon, you probably want to make it sooner than later. But I'm telling you right now, I don't understand what's going on. You going to help her do a diss track or not? The internet moves quickly. I personally think she needs a fight more than a diss track, but y'all got to do something because this is twice now where y'all done got tattooed by Remy Ma and them lyrics. So today's controversy for you all becomes tomorrow's controversy. But for normal people, today's controversy becomes tomorrow's forgotten story. So they need to figure this out. And that's why I really think a big fight announcement would help. It would help. Would it change everything? I don't know about everything, but it would help. I'm just looking, you know, and thinking about boxing. I'm like, you know what, man? There are fighters out here who've had issues, who've struggled, but, you know, they can repair the public perception through performance. But for Claressa, just, again, her and Papoose, man, it's like Pat-Man and Gwopman. You know what I'm saying? Pat-Man and Gwopman. That's what this shit is, man. It's like they're just out here, the dynamic duo, just destroying shit. That public perception. I'm really trying to be fair right now, thinking how in the world they can repair that public perception. The dynamic duo. I know she's got to win. She needs great performances. She needs knockouts, memorable moments. But at the same time, I'm just being honest with you, man. I don't know if they can do it. You see, fans who disagree with a fighter's personality, they often still respect elite performances, but Claressa has come out here and disrespected different fighters based on them having a good performance or having what she thinks is maybe a not so stellar performance. Even just taking into consideration what happened with Shade Green. Look at how Claressa went live and acted the fool. So even if Claressa has an elite performance, people aren't going to come out here and give her the respect and applaud her the way you would think she deserves, because she hasn't done that for other people. But under normal circumstances, most people would believe that training camp is more important than anything else. Fight preparation is more important. Career planning is more important than any social media exchange. But they feel like those things are important. But you know what's even more important is for her to come out here and take a deep breath and, one, get away from Papoose, because he's destroyed her. And then, although the apologies, some people don't want to hear it, figure out a way to reconstruct things. But get away from, because Papoose ain't defending her. He ain't helping her. What's his actual job? You know what I'm saying? This man's the executive. He's this. He got all these things he's telling you. He's a manager? Or is he just managing boxing business? But to me, in the capacity that he's feeling, where he's taking credit for getting her these deals and stuff, right? Well then, my man, if you're doing all that, big Willie shit, why are you not getting her sponsorships? Finding opportunities to grow her brand. Not no low-hanging fruit shit that anybody can do. Nah, where the big sponsorships? Where the big fight negotiations, working with other promoters and networks? Where's all that? Where's the media relations, man? Helping create positive publicity. Where is it? What's the long-term plans? Come out and tell people your plan. You promoting, you managing, you helping her career. Come out and tell everybody what the plan is. I got a project management background. I could sit here and I could have told you back in the day when I was doing my thing what was planned for the next 10 years. As far as with projects and aircraft and where we were sending aircraft and different modifications that were going on. As far as maintenance, as far as flying, I could tell you everything for the next 10 years, because we had long-range plans. And then we refined those plans as well, annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. And then, on the hour, shit's getting updated. So I could sit here and I could intelligently speak to that. Why you not out here intelligently speaking to what the plan is for Big Whoop? What's the plan for the rest of her career? What's the plan for life after boxing? You see, these are responsibilities that people are sitting here, man, expecting you to be, you know what I mean, locked in on. All of that I just mentioned, man, have significantly greater long-term value than winning some stupid internet argument. And that's the direction you want to take her, to be on the internet arguing and acting a fool. Now, I will tell you, right, when it comes to fans, there are some fans who are like, she should just leave it alone. It's a battle she can't win. We're going back and forth with Remy. But again, she's crossed over to that hip-hop world now. Because I do think, when I forget about this Papoose guy, right, that responding could create a no-win situation. Because if Claressa responds, the critics can have a ball with every single word, every attempted punchline, everything. That would create some arguments out there between supporters and detractors. The feud continues. And then at the end of the day, we got to keep in mind, there's a child involved. You know what I'm saying? And even though I don't agree with Papoose, man, and if you're going to come out and say something, have your shit together, is all I'm saying. You're going to come out there and call somebody a demon, my man. Have your shit together. Because a demon is what you're doing. A demon is what you are right now. and what you've been doing. If you're doing such great things, how come people ain't praising you? You know what I'm saying? You on that demon time. No fights announced, no nothing going on. Look at what you did to this girl. You destroyed her, my man. Yeah, she deserves some blame, but I blame you. You and I a couple years apart. What you gonna be known for? Destroying a 2-time gold medalist? That's what you're gonna be known for? Shit's crazy. Crazy. But Clarissa's in a tough situation. Respond, don't respond. Look, I tell you what, I'm just glad it ain't me. But one thing I do know is sometimes you just got to let accomplishments speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Just come out here and do the business. And, some people ease up, others won't. But be successful. You know what I'm saying? The more success Claressa becomes, the less important the criticism will appear. But the attitude is important. Because the legacy is being written right now. I say it all the time. We're seeing history. Real-time history. American sports history being written. Claressa is part of that. A large part of that. But with the legacy, man, it's being overshadowed. When fans, just think about this. And this is for Papoose too. Because I know he'll be watching these videos and shit. Because he know what the hell people say on the internet. You know what I mean? I used to try to defend him. But, I see that I've seen enough for me to look. I'm gonna tell you this. Everything is good over here. But there was a time I made bad choices in life when I was younger. You learn from that shit. So I can sit there and watch somebody and peep everything, see the movements. I know shady shit when I see it. I'll say this. Had Claressa never gotten involved with this guy here, Papoose, right now, where would she be? Legacy-wise, fan support, and as far as what kind of discussion people would have for her decades from now. If she would have never gotten involved with Papoose, because I don't think it would have been all this drama. I'll be honest with you. But right now, when fans discuss Claressa decades from now, what are they going to say? You see what I'm saying? And really, what will matter the most? What should have mattered the most? Virality or professionalism and doing the business in the ring? Being a good ambassador to the sport, really trying to uplift female boxers, work together, showing that camaraderie that she was trying to pronounce and talk about when she did that video to respond to Layla. But that wasn't done. Instead, we got internet arguments, social media feuds, celebrity drama, all this crap. And I personally think Papoose had everything to do with that. And that's what people are going to talk about, all the drama. Years from now, people are going to be talking about the drama. Nobody's going to talk about no gold medals and how she was a dominant fighter. Maybe 10% of people. You know what I'm saying? But even me, I'll say, yeah, Claressa Shields, yeah, man, she'll whooping everybody ass. Very talented fighter. However, that being said, unfortunately, you see what I'm saying? So you give the credit up front, but then it'll be followed with all the bullshit. And Claressa is a grown woman. She deserves some culpability. But Papoose can thank himself for doing that to her. Just like right now, he thank himself for not helping her respond to Remy and not helping to shift the attention back to boxing, or at least having her come out there and say something, do something. Help her. Claressa out here under pressure because she trusted this guy. And now he's under pressure because you got a boxing crisis and you got a rap war developing out here. And he don't want to be part of either one. He just want to get his money. Can't respect that, man. You know what I mean? Can't respect that. Did that girl wrong. Did her wrong, man. And I'm a guy talking. And I've had, many women, man, I've turned down because I just certain things. You just, some things you just don't, as a fucking man, you just don't do it. Some things you just don't do. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine, man, putting myself in position to get paid off of some female. And then to come out here, me being damn near 20 years older than her. And then now she out here catching pressure in boxing and pressure from the hip hop community and not doing anything to protect her. Nah, same way, you couldn't wait to go out there and try to quote unquote get these deals because you were getting some money. Nah. Don't sit here now and get quiet. Get out here and get vocal. And get active. And protect Claressa Shields. Help her respond. Help her get the right fights. Help her get sponsorship deals. You come out here and clean up all the mess that you created behind the scenes, being the puppet master when it comes to Claressa Shields. You clean that shit up. Because you did it, big dog. Big Papoose. Big player. Big executive. You did it. Nobody can respect, most real men ain't gonna respect that shit. And nobody want to hear about the gangster shit. Get the fuck out of here. That shit is played out. Played out. Gangster, fighting, the bulldog, the black this, the gun this. Get out of here with that corny shit. Shot fucking guns for 25 years, M16s, all kind of shit. Who the fuck want to brag about shooting a gun or shooting at somebody? You know what that shit does to flesh? You know what that does to people, man? Fuck out here bragging about shooting people. See what that does to a motherfucker. See what I should do to a fucking child? You ever did body bag detail? Shut the fuck up talking all this gun this, gun that. Help this woman out. It's crazy, man. Final years of her career often shape how history remembers an athlete, man. What is Claressa going to be remembered for? It was all cool before, like I said, the internet was like a playground. This shit ain't so fun no more because they got 2, 3, 4 pit bulls running loose, tearing asses up. They got them up there on that slide, you know what I mean? They way up there on that goddamn slide at the top. Praying them dogs don't figure out that there's a ladder and they can climb their ass up there. Anyway, the decisions now carry extra weight. And they've been at a crossroads moment, in my opinion. And when I watch Claressa Shields, this shit's sad. Like, I'm being honest with you. This is me talking. This shit's sad. Yeah, she came out here with that Layla, but again, you take it all back. It was before she met Papoose. She felt Layla was the kind of way, but he came out there and the one who's been the one to motivate her to give her the ambition to come out here and really go hard at Layla and do the things she was doing. He did that. You know why? Because he was sitting there, man, thinking about the money. And don't hide behind big gold. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Controversy, distractions, constant online battles. It's ridiculous. Where's the discipline? Where's the major fights, the career-defining performances? Where's the big money? Where is it? How come she not in a mansion? Where the Bentleys? Huh? Where's all the fly shit? Not rented shit. Where's the fly shit? Where's all her dough? Mr. Executive? Got her out here looking crazy. Anyway, man, whether y'all think it's fair or unfair, I just think public perception is the killer right here for Claressa. And she ain't getting no help from him, nobody on her team, and nobody helping her. That thing with AB going out there slapping Baumgartner, that was just all wrong. But I tell you what, public perception, influenced by whichever path receives the most attention, and they chose to go a path of destruction, self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not about Claressa winning another argument online. It's can she redirect that conversation back to what made her famous in the first place? Winning fights, making boxing history, the things that made her famous and made her great in the first place. You know what? The stuff she was doing that made her that, Papoose was nowhere around. So you know what that tells you? She don't need him. Because he sure as hell ain't helped her with nothing. And she should have went over to the MVP. She needs the right structure. What she got is chaos. And now Papoose is under pressure. No fights announced. Rap wars. Everybody dissing her. Nobody care no more. Nobody see a champion. Nobody see a part of American history. I do my videos, I talk about it, but I make sure to always mention she's a part of American sporting history, 2 gold medals. People don't agree when I say that, but it's the facts. We need to keep that conversation around that as much as possible, as well as talking about the bullshit, but we need to keep that conversation around that as much as possible. You know why? Because Papoose don't keep that conversation around that. He don't care. It's my opinion, man. If he did, he would have handled her differently. She is a black woman. She came from poverty. She got fucked up growing up as a kid. It's a horrible story. People taking advantage of her. Horrible. Young, innocent child. Fucking sickos taking advantage of her. It's horrible, man. Struggling, man, as a teenager. Family life. On her own, man. Eating that fucking no food, little bullshit ramen, splitting it. Found boxing. Sister had a child. Then she's making decisions, attitude, a lot of things she didn't know. It's a fucked up story, man. I ain't gonna keep talking about it because this is what people like. Hood, you give her grace, because I'm telling you, man, I don't like some of her ways, but I don't talk about it because it get me agitated, because I take that into consideration, what she's gone through. And see, if I talk about it, especially with her and him, the real, who I really am will come out. And I don't want to be like that on the internet. I'd rather come out here with the jokes and all that. So that's why I'm going to stop talking about it, because I'll get upset. I'll get real upset because it's fucked up, man. You know why? Because I would never do that. I would never do that. And I think most men, no matter how, being on the internet, whatever you do, talking shit, most real men wouldn't fucking do that. And you know what make it more crazy? This is in front of the whole world. Now, I'll tell you this. If he divorces Remy and he marries Claressa and they have a child, I will come out and say, I'm sorry. I didn't think that you were a real one. I was watching. It looked to me like you were an opportunist taking advantage of her. But you did come and marry her. You did come and give her that child, little Pat Jr. I was wrong. I apologize. And I'm fucking proud of you. Because you did some stand-up shit and you were real about her the whole time. And we got it wrong. But there's still people still gonna have an opinion. But I will say that people gonna be like, "Oh, he just married her. Let's see when he gonna divorce her. When he gonna get to ask for half. When he gonna turn into them African women like Eddie Murphy was talking about? I want half Eddie. When you gonna come out here asking for that? But I ain't gonna go that direction. If he go and he marry her and have a little child, I'll just sit back and be like, okay, he was a real one. He really was a protector. He really was about her. She really was the love of his life. He went out here and he's with her and they chilling. Everybody leave him alone now. Like there's nothing to talk about after that. So I guess we gotta wait and see what he does. Is Hood Champion wrong about Papoose? Because y'all know I really don't say much about him. But tonight I'm just doing this video and I did my research, prepared my extemporaneous presentation. And I'm really sitting here thinking about what the fuck is going on with Claressa Shields. And it really like, it ain't funny. Like, this shit's not funny. I can make jokes about, man, please, I have fun with shit. But when I start talking about the real shit, like what's really going on here, it's horrible, man. The two worlds where she exists in, boxing and hip hop, they don't want her. And it wasn't like that. She was even loved and embraced by the fucking MMA community. So you got the boxing world, the MMA world, the fucking hip hop world. None of them want nothing to do with her. She's a fucking joke to everybody now. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. Because it ain't my responsibility to clean up nothing. I'm gonna keep talking about whatever I feel to talk about, as y'all know. But right now, I just felt to talk a little bit more about this guy Papoose because that shit is crazy to me. Crazy to me, man. You know, let me tell you, like, I was out today fishing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out there, got my little crew, and we chilling. And I was watching. There was a couple of families who came out there. It's a real beautiful place we go fishing, man. Big covered pavilion. It's real nice, real nice. And there were a couple of families who came out there, and they had children who had disabilities. And I was just watching them. And there was a guy, the kid, he had to be about 12, 13. He was a tall joker, man. But you know, he had some kind, I don't know what it was, but I know he was challenged, right? Because the way he came over, the way he was talking, and you know, my sons are cool, you know what I mean? They work good with everybody and they understand, they can recognize, okay, something going on with the kids. So my kids will accommodate and help him out. But the kid wanted to come over there and get one of the fish that we caught. And I said, yo, man, what you gonna throw him back? But you know, he was kind of a little bit all over the place a little bit. So I didn't want to give it to him initially because I was like, what's he gonna do with it? But anyway, I was like, okay. So he went back over to buy his dad and his mom. And he was allowed to go and just take the fish, right? And he had scissors and he had pliers. And he was just pulling at the fish and stabbing it with the scissors. I think that what he was attempting to do was maybe use it as cut bait, where you take the fish, you cut it up and take a piece and put it on your hook, right? I think that's what he was attempting to do. So it was a big old fish that we caught. And I remember my oldest son was like, yo, what the fuck's going on over there? I was like, man, what's that kid doing? So then his dad comes over and his dad gives him, there's a small piece of wood. There's a big old pavilion, has a sink. People, you know, wash your hands and want to clean your fish there. And he gives him this small piece of wood and he starts beating the fish. And I'm watching that and it's taking everything in me not to say something. Because I'm watching that and I know it's wrong, you know? But I know if I say something and the father says something back, I already know I'm going to snuff that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I already know that because I was already there. And my big son was like, Dad, just leave it alone. And I was just like, I was more upset with the guy, although his son had to be about 13, 14. He was tall, but you know, he had a little disability, but there was a little small piece of wood. I thought it was like a little small cutting board, but he was hitting the fish with it. And this idiot was there allowing that shit to take place. So I walked over there and they had a guy who was there, and he's supposed to be just monitoring the pavilion. And I said, yo, my man, I said, we come out here all the time. I said, most of the shit that people catch, there's an expectation to just throw it back. I was like, why are you letting them do that? And he was like, oh, yeah, he didn't have an answer. So I just left him to just blanked his ass. But when I saw that, and I was like, you got someone here who knows that somebody is doing something and it's wrong, but you're allowing it to continue. Now, I talk about that situation because, the kid obviously had some kind of disability. I know that he could just tell when he was speaking in the movements, right? But back on Claressa, I'm not saying she has a disability. But what I'm saying is, the same way I saw what was going on with that boy hitting that fish with the little small, like a little small wooden cutting board, hitting that fish, bang, bang, bang. And I say, yo, this is crazy. And the man watching, and you can see he looked over a couple times, but he wouldn't say anything. It's just like Papoose watching Claressa out here going crazy and going viral and just crashing out on the internet and doing all this nonsense. To me, her doing that is the same thing as that boy hitting that damn fish with this little, it's like a little wooden block with the pliers and scissors, then with the wooden block. And the guy just watching it and allowing that shit to happen. Didn't say nothing. It took everything in me not to say something. And to me, I'm watching Papoose and Claressa, and I'm seeing the same shit play out. Because I was asking him, why isn't this guy saying something? And I thought about saying something to him. I really did, but I just what I'm gonna do? The fish is already dead. The kid, obviously, that's how the father and the child, what he allows the child to do. But we finished what we were doing, and we ended up bouncing. And then my sons were like, "Yo, why would he allow him to do that?" And I'm sitting there thinking, even my kids know that's unacceptable. Just like we all sit here and watch what's going on with Papoose, with Claressa and Papoose and Claressa and her career and everything going on. We all know that shit. We're sitting here looking, it's wrong. We're looking and saying this shit is wrong. 98% of people are saying that. There is that few, that small pool of people who like Claressa has a good man. People are just hating on Papoose and her, and they're happy and they're this, and look at what he's done for her, and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They can feel how they want. I'm not saying anyone's wrong. Just like you can't tell me I'm wrong, right? It's just an opinion. But when I watch that, all I gotta say is, yo, to this guy Papoose, stop allowing Claressa to beat fish with a wooden block. You know that shit is wrong. Same thing she doing on the internet is the equivalent to what that little boy was doing out there today. And the father didn't say shit. He just let it happen. Chaos, everybody watching, everyone in the uproar, people talking. What the fuck is going on over there? Same thing with you letting her come out here and act a fool on the internet. People watching, people like, what the fuck? And people like, what's going on over there? Same shit. Anyway, man, Papoose under pressure. Messing up this girl's boxing history, boxing legacy. Got her caught up in all this bullshit. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.